everyone. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Protect your private financial data, keep it safe and secure from hackers and no good doers. You can get more info at expressvpn.com/rooster. Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Brian.
And I'm John.
And I'm
It
Gus.
wasn't how you described it would happen.
Yeah, it was a Y instead of a 2. I don't punch it.
It confused me.
Yeah, it confused me too, but I rolled with it because I'm a professional. I'm used to these things going.
Someone already nailed it in chat. Old Man Podcast.
It's an old man podcast.
With Gav.
I haven't even said anything yet.
Yeah, I was like, I was thinking the other day, I was like, it had been a while since we had an old man podcast. I invited Brian to come on. I was like, gotta have John on too.
That's how he pitched it to me. He's like, I'm gonna have Brian on. We want to have an Old Man Podcast. Would you come? Like, yeah, I can come. I'm old.
I had to stop you from saying stuff like twice already before the podcast started. Because
He's ready to gripe.
Material.
Which is what we're here.
yeah.
Will not stop bitching about Apple already.
I also had to apparently stop last week. I started the podcast on totally the wrong foot.
What happened last week?
We'll talk about it after the first 5 minutes. Because apparently it's okay after 5 minutes according to YouTube. You can't. You apparently you just can't lead the show with my hot takes.
All right, I'll get it going. Vaccinations. Why is Colin Powell dead? If
Stop! Eric's dying. Eric's
let's
on the
old-
floor.
let's
Why is
old
Eric
man
on the
it up.
floor?
And Eric keeps talking about being behind the 8 ball. What are you talking about?
Just behind the 8 ball, man.
You're just behind the 8 ball all day.
Where's the 8-ball?
Outlook not good.
The 8 ball in pool or like the 8 ball, the magic ball? It was annoying me earlier. His status on Slack is like Eric Bador behind the 8 ball. And then I was messaging about something serious-ish. I was like, oh, I'm waiting on results. He's like, yeah, I don't want you to be behind the 8 ball on these communications. I was like, have you been on a pool retreat? What's wrong with you?
We did the ads before the show, he slacked them to me, and I copied them all and pasted them in a document so I could see them easily. Then as I was like reading the last line, it said, Eric Bador behind the 8 ball. I was like, like, it got really confusing for me when I was doing the ad reads because it copied his status and put it into the document.
Doesn't it mean like you have a bunch of shit you have to do at work and you're behind? Like that's what I take it.
I think it's just a I know it means like a disadvantage,
you're in a bad
but
position.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Why does he keep saying it?
Why would you question anything that creature right there does?
It was annoying me.
Saying it is just written one time and then I said it one time.
But we have to see it all the time,
Yeah,
so it replays.
Do you know how you solve that? You know how you solve that?
no
Just don't slack
shit.
Eric. Just don't slack Eric.
I
I do that all the time.
I don't either, and he's my boss.
Yeah,
so it's
I don't
great.
slack Eric constantly. It's fantastic.
It's the best way to live your life. I was texting Eric this morning because I was concerned that the Instagram algorithm is really starting to narrow down on me. Like I was, you click on like the little magnifying glass and it shows you like stuff that you might like.
Right.
And I found the weirdest post that had like no engagement, but they obviously served it to me. It was Garfield as different planes
I think
throughout the years.
right. I think
Someone drew this, and Instagram thought, you know who's gonna like that? Gus. I did.
I want to do it. I want to have a Garfield podcast with Eric. Eric,
yeah.
Can we just have a Garfield podcast?
I found more.
You found more?
I found more Garfield.
I think a great trust exercise would be to hand people your Instagram search screen.
Yes.
And just have them judge what Instagram is serving you, because it's serving you that stuff for a reason. So what is it that it's serving you? And that's like the personality test.
Yeah, mine is screwed up too because I pulled it up the other day and it just showed MILFs in your area. And I specifically searched for hot MILFs in my area.
Hot MILFs.
So this is why y'all are losing the young people.
That's why TikTok's taking over. They know.
They know.
They got it figured out.
Dude, I had to talk to my kids about social media. I hate social media now, and I hate that I have to be a parent in a world where social media is a thing, and I have to be on it and talking to them about it, because they're not going to not be on it, because I'm not going to have them be the Amish kid who has no idea what these things are, because I'm just setting them up to be bullied for that. But I also can't just let them be on it unmonitored. and not let them tell like that everything is a lie. You know, like that's the lesson.
Yeah, I'm just hoping it all blows over before
It's not going to. It's not. Just because you have successfully done the very smart thing, I must commend you, of almost completely stepping away from social media. It's still there. It's not object permanence kind of thing. It's like, I can't see you. Like that's like, it is. And with the young kids, it is just like, it is their thing.
Yeah.
Here to stay.
I'm raising mine like Amish kids. Except they're just always on Rumspringa. So they're just always cutting loose and I try to limit them too. Like I say, just play. Sorry.
How old are your kids though?
11, 8.
You have an 11-year-old?
Yeah.
I forgot you had older kids.
Yeah, he builds like he's like kind of getting into it, but like it's unavoidable because like he was making levels in Mario Maker 2 like last year, and it, like innocent, right? But he put BLM on his level and like got like sort of blowback from that. It's like messed up. Yeah.
Keep your politics out of Mario games.
Yeah, he got blowback from his stepdad because I was like, all lives matter. No.
5 minutes? 5 minutes?
Oh my god.
5 minutes?
It really is, but it is messed up. Like he's just a sweet little kid, you know, like just putting in like nice things. But it's on the internet, so it's all people are just gonna be like awful.
I don't know how you solve that. How do I just put them, can I get a fake internet? Can I get like a fake, they think they're on the real internet, but it's like a curated fake one?
You could set up like a policy rule on your router or like modify the DNS your router gives out. So it's like you have your own server, you have Instagram that you run out of your house.
Yeah, but they're not even just at my house though.
They
have another home
where it's just people.
They have school. It's
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like my life sucked on a level in that I was so. What's that called when you're sheltered? I was sheltered.
What's it called when you're sheltered?
What's it called when you're sheltered?
Baptist, Southern Baptist.
Yeah. That I didn't get the jokes and stuff, and so people would I was the kid asking like, "What's that word mean?" You know, I was that kid, and that fucking sucks.
Yeah. I felt really lucky in that. We didn't have the internet when I was a kid. Like I grew up without that. When the internet finally started getting popular, I was like a really early adopter and one of the first people on. So like I got to figure it out before everyone jumped on.
Sure.
It was like, oh, okay, I'm running this shit. Like I know what's going on. Then like everyone got on board. It's like, yeah.
So why are you not like a billionaire?
That's a really good question, Gavin. That's actually why I dropped out of college. It was like I dropped out in '97. So it's like, I could keep going to college and get this degree, which is probably worthless, but the internet is creating such a sea change in this moment. It's like, I need to go start a company. So that's why I came to Austin and I worked at a shitty call center, earning $8 an hour. Was it? Yeah, it was $8 an hour.
Yeah, all my friends who were comp sci majors back then were like, yeah, our professors don't know shit. Like, they were just like, they were kind of dicks too, but like, yeah, it was such a weird. I miss like decentralized. Social media is what fucked it up.
Yeah.
Like I miss like having to know like individual sites, and I think that was better. Or like you would go to a little BBS that was like you and 20 other pro wrestling fans, and y'all would in it. But there was a little hierarchy there. It was heavily modded.
Like in a way, it felt like safer, in some ways, just because like
even though we were more scared of it back then.
Yeah,
like don't put your info or your credit card on the internet.
Right, you wouldn't buy anything online. If somebody
now I get mad if I have to put in my credit card information. Remember my shit for me, so I don't have to do it. That's how I am now.
If you saw porn or something gross, it was because a buddy sent it to you.
Yeah.
Like sent you like goatsy, and like that's how you found. But it was like I don't know. It was like charming in a way.
Yeah. It was also it wasn't just the web. There were like different protocols and platforms that used for different things.
Usenet
and you like, God, Usenet. Imagine trying to figure that shit out these days. It was like you would use like Archie for file like everything was named after comics. Like there was Archie and Jughead for file transfers. Like it was just like, why? Who made this shit?
Like who came up with the concept of fingering somebody?
Oh,
Remember to find them? Like it was weird.
Where you at, Gavin?
I'm trying to figure out what. Like, what do you mean? Is it like command line stuff at this point, or do you...
It was like different. So, like in the Archie example, it was its own program. It was its own platform entirely.
So how did you
you would launch Archie.
And then someone would be on Archie that you could.
It's like you could find. It was almost like it was more like an FTP client kind of.
Okay.
Where you would connect to a server and there was stuff on there. You would Archie use the protocol to connect to a server.
You
and
just
then
sent me
could get
back
stuff
like
on there.
10 years by saying FTP client. That hasn't been a thing I've had to log into or have
Yeah.
one. Like,
What was that little
one.
app on Transit or something? Was it
Transmit. It was an FTP
Transmit.
program. Yeah. Or like Telnet. Like we would Telnet into VBSs or
MUDs.
like MUDs.
Yep.
Play MUDs all the time.
Yeah, like
that's gone.
IRC too, and I'm sure some of those are still around. But we had like our own IRC channel. It was just like 10 of us at most, just hanging out. But it was like we all knew each other in real life. We called it Pound D's, and the channel bot would say D's nuts whenever anyone said D constantly. So it was just constant stream of this shit.
You never stopped.
Never. It never got old, and that was 25 years ago.
I think we peaked as a society around like 02. I think that was it. I think every
iPod had just come out.
I think that this is pretty good time for movies and video games around that time.
Post 9/11, but pre-Iraq War.
Yeah. We made it through the Millennium Bug. We made it through
Yep.
9/11, everything like that. It was pretty good.
What movie? What movies were good in 2002?
I will say that I've been going back and watching a lot of like Turn of the Millennium movies because I like the nostalgia and I like the look of that film. TikTok reminded me, not that this is a good example of it, but it reminded me of a movie I wanted to rewatch and see how it held up. And I watched 1 Hour Photo, that scary Rob Williams movie.
Oh yeah.
The one where he was like kind of a creepy 1 Hour Photo developer.
Yeah.
It's a decent little independent thriller. But then it took me down a further rabbit hole. And I was looking through all like 2000, 2001, 2002 films. So I watched like the original Bourne Identity, like baby Matt Damon running around acting
Bournes are good. I like those.
Bourne actually holds up. It was good.
Do you want to take a guess as to one of the top? I pulled up the top movies from 2002.
What were they?
Shrek?
It was like Reign of Fire was in there.
I don't see Shrek.
No, Shrek was
Maybe it was already good.
maybe.
I don't see Reign of Fire.
Are you arguing in the chat about which port Telnet is?
Yes. Someone
Yes.
said it was 20.
Yes.
You outed me, dude.
Oh yeah, Two Towers was one of them.
Oh,
Lord
that
of the
was the
Rings. We
shit.
were
Yeah.
That's where we were in Lord of the Rings.
It was the top movie that year was the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
Then Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets, Signs, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and then Two Towers.
yeah.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding was huge. That
Yeah.
was the
Massive.
date. That was the date movie for all of 2000. I saw it like 5 times in the theaters, and with 5
women.
different Baylors.
We're gonna cut that from the actual release so people don't hear you actually say that.
Oh man,
Jesus
I can't look at the
Christ.
glow up she got. She looks so different.
I haven't checked it
after
out.
they-
I saw that in the theater. I did.
I did too.
Were you talking about the glow up she gets in the movie?
Yeah, in the movie
Okay.
because they do
I-
this sort of.
You know how Adele has like lost a ton of weight? Mm-hmm. Like, she's one of those people that she lost so much weight she doesn't actually look like Adele anymore. She like in a photo I would not be able to say yeah that's Adele until she talks and you're like that's Adele. That's
Right.
there's,
All
only-
right, mate.
there's one person in this world that talks that way.
Yeah, she
It's
sounds
Adele.
like she's about to stab somebody.
I love
in
it.
an alley.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Her speaking voice is so different than the singing voice.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah, she sounds like
She sounds like it's just so different.
What was the top games? What was 2002 games? Where were we in video
I mean,
games?
I was still playing Halo 1, probably.
Would it have been?
fuck 2002.
Like, where you were still
What was-
playing it because it was like still cool?
Well, it was poor and I've had like one game. so I was probably
Notable
still playing.
releases. Lilo and Stitch Pinball was not a notable release Wikipedia. I don't care what you say.
Was that the first Animal Crossing? That was GameCube time, I feel like.
Oh,
this
maybe
is just a
Prime,
list of
maybe Metroid.
releases. This isn't notable releases.
figure it out,
Put
Gus.
top 10. Why
Yeah,
are
you
using
decide.
notable?
You browse through it and you let us know
deliberately
what
put in
you think
Google
the top
Top
is.
games.
Vice City,
Oh, fuck yeah.
Super Mario Sunshine, Metroid Prime,
Prime.
Elder Scrolls 3, Eternal Darkness, Jedi Knight, Warcraft 3.
Ooh.
Jesus, this is a banger year.
See, we peaked. Okay. Granted, we were starting a 20-year war in a country we shouldn't have been in, and we hated all queers, and just everything else was terrible. But other than that, it was fine.
But we had some good games.
We had some good games, and we had Born Identity. What more do you need, society?
Jet Set Radio Future. That takes me
See?
back.
It's fine. It's fine.
I want to play Vice City again.
Well, the remakes are coming out soon. Vice City and San Andreas.
I remember being, because I didn't have a PlayStation, so I had to, you go to the friend who has a PlayStation. That's probably the only reason you're friends with that person. I remember being blown away that you could chainsaw someone and their blood would like land on the lens in Vice City.
In Vice City?
Because you couldn't do that in GTA 3. I was just like, oh, the graphics. That game looks like shit.
It does. It's amazing to have like grown up through the progression of like 3D graphics, and multiple times throughout that process. We don't do it anymore, but multiple times throughout the process, you would look at something and be like, that looks too real.
Yeah.
And then now it's like dog shit. I'm not joking. That was how like people around me were, probably myself, were reacting like to Bug's Life. That grass.
You're right,
That
though.
grass
From like 97 till about 2000. Yeah, there was like an 8-year span. Where it was
Gollum was like the leap forward in graphics.
I remember playing, I think it was Driver 2 on the PlayStation. And I remember the cutscenes were like pre-rendered and they were like actual
It's like Warcraft cutscenes were the same way. Warcraft cutscenes were crazy.
And it would cut to the game and your head would be like 4 pixels and you'd be like...
Final Fantasy 7. Yeah.
And I just remember looking at the cutscenes on Driver 2 and being like, one day games will look as good as
and they do.
And
like
they look way better than
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Like driving around in like Forza or something like that. It's like, well, this is clearer than actual real life.
It makes me think of that old Next Generation game magazine cover where it says Unreal. Yes, this is an actual PC game.
Oh yeah, and it's like
Those
6
5
polygons.
are real. Yeah.
It's like, what is this?
like that compared to like Last of Us 2. It's just like,
God,
what do you want to like the way that we can like render the performances that we do in games, just nuts.
Yeah, I'd like the one I always think about is when people do the comparison between the first Toy Story movie and Kingdom Hearts on the PlayStation 4, which has like the Toy Story characters in it, which is like the pre-rendered Pixar footage, which took hours to render one frame, versus the PS4, which is like in real time rendering all of this shit, and it looks way better.
What was the Switch Mario Odyssey latest Mario game?
Yeah.
Everyone talked about Mario's mustache in that game had more like pixels than all of Mario 64 combined. Like every asset in Mario 64
fit in the mustache.
compressed
I want a mod
was
for
in
Mario
Mario's
Odyssey
new mustache.
that replaces his mustache with every texture from Mario 64. I want to see that mod.
It's like when people compress an entire movie down to just the colors and they show like a color spectrum, like do that of Mario 64 and make that his mustache.
This episode of the Receipt Podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. If you need a website for any reason, you build it with Squarespace. Squarespace has loads of features to make your site stand out from the rest. They got social media integration, so you can display posts from your social media profiles to your website, or you can push website content to your social profiles, either way. So your friends and followers can share. They also have their own email campaign feature, so you stand out in even the most flooded inbox and unify your brand voice from your homepage to your emails. Every Squarespace site is optimized for mobile, so it'll look great on any device. Don't you hate it when a site is totally fine on desktop, is completely unusable on your phone? Well, that's not an issue with Squarespace. You've heard us talk about Squarespace for a long time now. It really is super simple to use. Everything is point and click. There's no coding required. They got great templates. You can get set up and running in no time. I love it. I think it's great. I wish I had this stuff when I was making websites way back in the day because it's game changer. It's so much easier. You should give it a try. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/roosterteeth. Save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
So how about the Apple event?
This fucking Apple event. You've been waiting.
I'm gonna pull out my Samsung phone while you gripe about Apple products.
Into this.
I didn't realize there was one today. So as soon as I found out on the way here, I was
another
very
thing.
excited to hear your opinion.
2002, we were probably all super excited about Apple events still. Like we were like,
I didn't care about Apple yet, I don't think. But,
no iPod?
No.
No? When was iPhone first released?
07?
07,
Okay,
yeah.
so we were still excited about iPod.
Those
iPod
big
stuff.
white ones.
Yeah.
I think this week is the 20th anniversary of the original iPod, if I remember right.
What amazing things did they tell you about Apple now?
They gave us function keys on the keyboard back. They're getting rid of the touch bar.
Instead of a tiny screen.
This whole event basically was an undo of every bad decision that we've been bitching about for the last 4 or 5 years.
It was a
every
patch.
single bad thing. It's like, why did they do that? They were like, and then they approach it like they're doing us a fucking favor. Look, you professional users have wanted dedicated hardware function keys. They're back now. Why did you take them away?
Because you
professional
needed
users want an
you needed
SD
to not
reader
have
on the
them.
side
We
of
had
their
this
laptop.
solved 30 years
They
ago.
had to take them
SD card
away.
is like 20 years old and they gave it back.
Professional users want an HDMI port out of their laptop. Why did you just give us the MagSafe?
But you appreciate it more now.
MagSafe is back, and it charges faster than it did before, but you can still charge via USB-C.
Hold up. What did the power cables turn into? Why is MagSafe gone?
USB-C.
They
Oh.
took away
That's fucking
every
stupid. That's
single
fucking-
port.
It's fucking stupid, especially because when you buy the fucking phone, they don't have the right cable.
You asked for it, you got it. The headphone jack. It's back.
I'm just eating this up.
I like that they literally gave you everything you wanted and you're mad at them.
Oh, God, man, because like they were trying to force this shit. Normally, they don't change. Like normally,
Courage, guys.
They stay
It
the
was
course,
courage.
and everyone else changes. They fucking gave it. They blinked.
No. Here's what it is that it's someone stole Gus's bike 5 years ago and is bringing it back and saying, I got you a bike.
I know that you like riding bikes.
Look at this bike. It is exactly the bike that you've been wanting back.
They released a beta software update for testing that as soon as they in this most recent version of Safari, they changed the way tabs work, and they're fucking shit now. They're fucking garbage. The day it came out, I was texting Gavin nonstop, like showing him screenshots of what absolute trash
Use
this
Safari?
is. Yes.
Why?
Yeah,
I like Safari.
yeah.
Safari uses less power than Chrome.
Yeah. I remember that from when I used to own Apple.
And this new
company.
beta update, they undid all the tab changes. They're like, yeah, this sucks. This is pretty garbage. It looks like placeholder in development shit. And like, if you go now, the way it works right now, if you go to a red website, your entire menu system changes red. Like the entire browser changes to the color of the background of the website you're visiting, and it's just like,
Can you turn that off though?
maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
By
but why is it
default,
on,
you
I
can.
guess?
Right? Why is it there? Why is it a by default on option?
So sad. It's so sad.
Absolute garbage.
It's so sad.
And I'm gonna spend
Does it not-
$3,000 on a new laptop out of spite.
You're gonna spend.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying a new laptop.
You're gonna spend $3,000 on an SD card slot.
No, I
know you will.
I am keeping this laptop. This laptop is totally fine. I'm gonna use it until it fucking falls apart.
How old is it?
4 years old now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not brand new, but it's not like super old or
Yeah.
anything. It's
What-
fine.
What's the split of Mac and PC you work off of? You.
I'm like 50-50.
Okay. Why? What do you favor one over the other? For what?
I only have a Mac because I prefer speed ramping in Final Cut,
Okay.
which I do all the time. It's like a huge part of the edit.
But
And I just
you-
like the way it works in Final Cut, so that's really the only reason I'm on Mac.
Yeah. Because you're definitely going to be gaming only on your PC
Yeah.
when you're doing. Do you do a lot of PC game or do you prefer console?
No, I'm mostly PC.
Really? You used to be someone I associate with console a lot.
I am for work.
Okay.
Someone in chat who is this Bodo M0015 says, "Old man yells at iCloud."
Yeah.
Just kiss. Let's end this. Let's end this
Yeah.
episode. But you start a podcast.
Yeah.
God, fucking so good.
Can I tell you about my kids making fun of me?
Yes, please do.
They did this to me, and I was like, well, I have to tell Gus about this. I actually thought about you as well. I finally hit the point where my kids now make fun of me, not in a cruel way, but enough in a way that they are doing because I'm old and don't get things now. They came in. I'm in my room working on my computer, and they came in intentionally to do this. This was the reason they came into my room, and they said, "Dad, do you know how to dab?" And I knew immediately I was being teed up to just fail, and I was like, "Yes, I know how to dab." And they're like, "Can you dab for us?" And I was like, "Okay." So I dabbed, and they just started busting up laughing because I did it wrong.
Well, go on, let's see it.
I don't. It's okay. Here, it's just this, right there. I did that, that's all I did, or just like a little bit of that, and they were like, they just thought it was hilarious. And I don't know what the right way to do it. I don't know what they think the right way to do it.
They didn't show you?
But it was no, because they ran away. They ran away, giddy with delight
Bye, loser.
that their loser dad doesn't know how to.
You notice one of them's filming you for
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah.
I'm looking it up. What is the correct way to dab?
I was just, and yeah, you're on.
Say it out loud.
Yeah,
A visual guide to taking the perfect dab. Oh no, this isn't.
The
This
word
isn't what I'm looking for.
the word dab makes me mad. Like just and then unless you're talking about drugs, like
I don't-
feel it's so.
That's what they're talking about here.
yeah.
Yes.
I don't mind it. It just was I think I was just mostly shocked that you have these moments as a parent. You're like, oh, we're there now.
I cannot
We're there
win
now.
in this situation.
Yeah, yeah,
no matter what if you did a perfect dab, it still wouldn't have been.
I want to know
Yeah.
what they were looking for now.
I don't know.
Maybe an angle,
I'll ask
maybe
him.
more of an angle.
I don't
at this
know.
time. Like a
Get really
Hulk
low and
Hogan
aggressive
doing
with
the
it.
Spoiler, there was nothing I could have done to get it right because
That's
I'm
right.
37 years old and I'm their dad, and me dabbing will be wrong no matter what.
That's right.
Did you half-ass it?
No!
Okay.
You should dab all the time around them now.
Oh, I will be leaning 100% into being the dad that embarrasses them as much as possible because you don't realize why parents do that until you are a parent put in that position where at that point in their age where you can do that, you have now gone through more than a decade of dealing with their shit and taking care of them to a degree you've never taken care of another human your entire life. And especially if you're doing multiple kids, and especially if you're a single parent who's doing it just on a even crazier level, when you get to that point where you can now make their life miserable, but actually not do any damage to them, like you're going to take advantage of it and you're going to make fun, you're going to embarrass them as much as possible. Because I don't care if I'm cool to their friends, I'm going to just destroy their life at that point.
Oh, my parents would totally embarrass, and I get now why they would do it, but that my dad would get vicious about one time, you go over to a friend's house to spend the night, and a friend and his dad came to pick me up, and right as we were walking out the door, me and my friend and his dad, my dad hollers, "Hey, Mike, make sure he changes his underwear because he never does here." And of course, for my friend, that was just like red meat to a fucking wolf.
yeah.
It was just, yeah. And he had to tell his older sister who was hot, and I didn't need that. I didn't need that in my life.
Oh, that's great. That's maybe the one thing I regret about not having kids is not being able to embarrass the hell out of them doing shit like that.
You do. You're right. John's right though. You have so much info on them. It's just you have just files on them that you can pull up.
And it still doesn't make up for how much work. I've said this last time I was here. It was as far as COVID, you see a parent in the street, you give them $5 because if a parent made it through COVID, then you owe them something. It's just there's an amount of work that goes into them that is you are frustrated as all hell, but you are constantly motivated to take care of them and make sure they succeed, even though you can be at points where you're like, I despise you. You have now reached the point where I despise you. I love you with my entire heart and life, but I despise you as well.
This wasn't worth it.
Yeah,
no,
I think
brutal. It's fucking brutal.
I don't think parents are honest enough about how.
right.
I've said this since I got a baby. I was like, no parent has ever made it clear how hard it is to be a parent. We need to make that more normalized, where you talk about how fucking difficult it is to raise kids.
What was I watching? I was watching
Parasite.
some news program. Not Parasite. I was watching some news program the other day that was talking about how, I forget what the number was. I want to say 13% of working adult men had the option to take paternity leave at wherever they worked. And that was the focus of the story. Is the United States didn't have very widespread paternity leave. And then almost like a footnote at the end of the story, they're like, yeah, compare that with 19% of women who have maternity leave where they work. I was like, wait, maybe we should be drawing this conversation out a step further and be like, why isn't any parental leave more widespread and more prevalent everywhere?
Why are both under 20%?
Yeah, women have it easy. 19% of them get maternity leave. Wait, hold up.
Something I've learned recently, especially through the pandemic and all that kind of stuff, and after being divorced as long as I have, and as a queer person, is that you realize that our entire what is expected of us as individuals in our society is based upon the inclination that you are going to be married with somebody and have a dual income house and will be having kids. And then if you can't succeed in that, then you're fucked forever. As far as like divorce or not having a normal cis hetero couple and that kind of thing.
Well, it's funny you say that because the news story I was watching was specifically about Pete Buttigieg
going on paternity leave.
Getting paternity leave, right?
Yeah, made fun of.
So people giving him shit for that. It's like, well, he fucking has a new kid. I mean,
I couldn't take paternity leave. I couldn't. I like on a personal level, I couldn't. We were a solo income family.
I see. Okay.
And my job didn't provide it in fullness. I could do it, but I would have half pay. And we were like bills to bills. We were like emptying our bank account every month anyway. So I was like, nope, couldn't take. We adopted my youngest, and then I took a weekend off and went back to work.
Why is it so? Like, this country has terrible maternity leave in terms of length.
It's almost like
time.
it doesn't take care of its citizens or
No.
people.
My girlfriend literally works in public health and specializes in postnatal research analysis, and it's just like her entire thing is like, no, once the baby's born, we don't. This our entire legislative system doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's the entire legislative system is about caring, and prior to that, after that, bye.
Yeah, get in there, grease those wheels of capitalism.
Yeah.
Get out there, spend money, get COVID, do it again.
Like someone in chat said, I type too slowly for how this podcast progresses.
It's still on Apple.
Ninosaurus.
Even if people don't do anything, you should take paternity leave or what just to take a break, because you just need a break from the shock that your life is going through.
Oh yeah.
If you're not, it's just.
And I assume never sleeping ever at any point.
After that, no.
Yeah, I mean it's just nothing can prepare you for it, because especially those first 8 months or where they don't sleep through the night and it's just up every 2 hours. It will drive you will hallucinate.
Well, that's
enough sleep, you will feel sort of psychotic.
Yeah.
It's nuts. That's not I make a joke about the stand-up joke, and I take it way too far. But the woman who drowned her kids in the tub, I get it. She was
said that.
insane.
When you have a baby, I'd say most people's experience can be this way, where you have a baby and you're like, oh, that's how people get to that point.
Right.
If you don't actually have the ability to actually stop your own actions, you have no impulse control and that kind of thing, and you're already psychotic, you get where that mentality goes to, because hey, stop sleeping and have something scream at you for, let's say, 4 weeks in a row. Just do that and see where you are mentally.
Yeah. So
especially if you have a colicky baby that's having a really hard time being able to process their food and soothe themselves. That's what I had. My youngest was colicky and just had a horrible first 2 months of her life.
Sleep denial.
Yeah.
Were you ever so tired that the crying didn't wake you up? That you know of, I guess.
To a degree, you eventually wake up no matter what. But no, I mean we also poor and had a tiny house, so it's what
it's impossible.
Yeah, I'm saying it's next door to me.
I just get to the point where it's not happened for many years because I don't work on film sets for ridiculous hours anymore. But if I had really long days for more than 5 days back to back, alarms just wouldn't work for me.
Right.
I'll just sleep through 20 straight minutes of my alarm going off, to the point where people were banging on the front door trying to wake me up.
That happened to me once. When was it? It's after we released episode 100 of Red vs. Blue. We'd been up for 30 hours or something making them all. I went home, fell asleep, and I was so tired I couldn't hear my phone ring. The servers had crashed, and I needed to go restart them, but nobody would get a hold of me because I was passed out.
Wow.
So Jeff had to drive to my house and bang on the windows of my bedroom to wake me up, to then wake up.
I was there for that. For episode 100.
I think you were. Yeah,
we made 5 different endings or something, or 3 endings.
Yeah. If you remember, we didn't sleep for days.
Yeah.
And then it came out, I was like, all right, that's done. Oh, shit. This shit's not working. So I think I went home, I got to sleep for an hour and a half. Then I had to wake up and fix everything.
I'll always just incorporate the alarm into my dreams. So whatever, or there might be an alarm going off in my dreams when I'm still asleep. I'm just trying to get it to shut up.
I am in fact that person who gets up from their alarm immediately, doesn't hit snooze, and gets out of bed.
Yeah, I hate
usually
snooze
pretty
button. I think the snooze button is like you're just fooling yourself.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything out of it. So it's like when my alarm goes off, it's like I'll turn it off. I might like get my phone and like look at news headlines or something for just like a minute or two, and then it's like, all right, time to get up. And, like,
9
get up,
minutes
start going.
though, that's some good sleep.
Dude, I hadn't with my girlfriend. She often, like 95% of the time, spends the night at my house, and that's just how we've done it. But I recently spent the night at her house on like a school night where we both had to get up for work and that kind of thing. And I experienced what it's like being at my girlfriend's house with the way she wakes up. She's not a morning person, and I don't force her to be a morning person. In fact, as an introvert, I like the fact that she sleeps in, and so when I wake up early, I have my alone time in the morning, and then I wake her up, when it's time to get up, and that's usually like our weekend routine, that kind of thing. But this was like a work day, and she still had to get up earlier than me, but she had 2 alarms, one on her phone and then one like on a clock, and snoozed both of those alarms at least 2 or 3 times each.
Are they like staggered?
They were staggered. They weren't even the same. So like it was like it's just like experiencing her snoozing it so many times and then finally getting up, and that's what worked for. I was like, this is madness. This is madness. This is like, I'm up.
It was like getting the nuclear codes to like
Yeah, you have to
launch.
do
There's
both,
like
yeah.
a multi-step process. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I used to. That's definitely, as I've gotten older, I enjoy waking up earlier and earlier, more and more.
Oh yeah.
It's like you get so much shit done. And then like at the end of the night, it's like, I used to still want to be up past midnight now. That's fine. I'll go to sleep.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
whatever. I'm going to wake up early and do shit in the morning.
I never understood, on multiple levels, I never understood this watching TV shows or movies. 1, I didn't date. And 2, I was always an early to bed kind of person. And whenever people were like in movies, like, yeah, let's go on a date. I'll pick you up at 9 and we'll go to dinner. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? like dinner's at like 5:30, y'all. Like that's what that is. What do you mean you're picking up for that? Like, what are you guys doing?
I hate that now. Yeah, like if a stand-up show is like 10:30, I'm like, I don't care if it's a Friday. That's fucking late.
That's late. That's late. Starting my thing at that time? No.
So yeah, some of my neighbors had like a small neighborhood get together the other night. I think it was like they were like, yeah, well, I'll get together at 8:30 p.m. And I was like, no, the sun's down by then. I was like, no. And it's like, I like my neighbors,
right?
But I was like, I'm not gonna go, like, I'm home by then. Like,
yeah.
That's it. My doors are locked. That's it. I'm done.
I hate, like, I also hate any noise in my neighborhood of people having a good time. Like,
oh,
there
hell
were,
yeah.
like, people behind, and it was like Saturday night. They were well within their right. It was like 10 o'clock on a Saturday, and they're just cheering or something around, like, in their backyard, and I'm so fucking mad.
What if they
like, I just wanted to, like, shoot above their heads. So
Give
they
them
would
a morning
scatter.
shot over.
Yeah.
What if they were loudly miserable though? What if they're having a really bad time?
Actually, I would say hearing people argue would actually be like loud, like fighting would actually be less irritating than loud,
that's
joyful
interesting
noises.
because then there's some drama going on. My in college, that we lived off Riverside, and my roommate and I, and one guy and his girlfriend got into a fight. Like we heard it, like out in the courtyard. And I looked outside, and there was this love note, but it was like a 10-page, many pages shredded. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, I guess they had a bit, and I just went to work. My roommate went out, got the love note, and fucking assembled it. Like,
oh no.
Like, and was like, I came back and was like, I don't remember what the drama is, but he totally had like caught up. Like,
He was in on the juicy details.
exactly. Like the North Vietnamese at the embassy, like putting together the shredded paper so they could get the kill list. It was like, never mind, that was terrible.
This episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by ExpressVPN. These days, it feels like you can't trust anyone. You can't even trust incognito mode. That's right. The fine print says your activity could still be visible to your employer, school, or ISP. That's not incognito at all. There's only one way to reliably stop people from seeing the sites you visit. That's ExpressVPN. Think about all the times you use Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, hotel, even your parents' house. Without ExpressVPN, every site you visit could be logged by the admin of that network, even in incognito mode. Do you really want other people seeing what you've been looking at? Do you? Your ISP can also see and sell that data to advertisers, but ExpressVPN is an app that encrypts all your network data and routes it through a network of secure servers so your private online activity stays just that, private. ExpressVPN also works on all your devices. Super simple, easy to use. Tap one button, you're protected. You've heard me talk about it for a while now. The install is super easy. It's like a button in my browser. Click it on, click it off. Just easy. It couldn't get any easier than that. I forget it's running in the background sometimes. It's that easy, that simple, that unobtrusive. You really should check it out. So stop letting strangers invade your online privacy. Protect yourself at expressvpn.com/rooster. Use our link at expressvpn.com/rooster to get an extra 3 months free. That's expressvpn.com/rooster to learn more. expressvpn.com/rooster.
What is the dynamic in your house as far as late night, early morning?
I get up pretty early every day, and I have like half a day to myself. It's a bit lonely sometimes.
When you say you get up pretty early, like what are you talking about?
Well, it depends on the day. Every morning, every Monday, I get woken up by a leaf blower just before 8. So it's a bad start to the week.
Yeah.
I am tired on every RT podcast all the time because of one guy.
You know,
Just a
you could
constant-
just go to bed earlier on Sundays.
That's easier said than done, though.
No, it is.
the
It's
weekend.
actually it's quite
When
easily
everyone's
done.
like, it's just the weekend and that.
No.
Watch some telly.
My girlfriend invited me to go to actually meet some of her friends, because I haven't met like a ton of her friends because of COVID. And she's like, they're having like a little get together, and it's going to start at 6 on Sunday. You want to go? I was like, yeah, I can go. But I know in my head I will be heading home by 8 is what I will be doing for that
what if
party.
you're-
That's not bad. You
good
stayed
time.
2 hours.
That is max.
Yeah.
That is max.
What if 2 hours have passed, you're still having a really good time?
There ain't
Are you
no
strict-
fucking chance I'm gonna have. There ain't
You have
no.
37 years of history.
There ain't
to
no.
know.
What are you talking about? Like it would have to take like, oh, Keanu Reeves showed up at the party. Okay, I'll hang out a little. That's what it would take at this point, because as a fucking anxious introvert, that is more time than I even
Do you
want.
have a signal that you give her when you're ready to go?
Yeah, she can see that I'm losing it.
okay.
She can see that I'm actually, I don't lose it. I just shut down. I stop being able to actually socially interact because it's a energy thing.
You just have no manners after some point.
No, I don't think I'm ever. I probably am a little rude. But I just like, you can just see like eyes glazed over, looking at a corner in the room, just like thinking about who knows the fuck what. It's like, oh, John's gone. Like, we should take John home.
So is that a more recent thing? Because I remember back in the day when we'd be out drinking late and we'd have a wrestle in the sand like we used to at Little Woodrow's.
I think it's always been a thing that I never fully recognized and like was honest with myself about. But I will say during that era, you were experiencing John who had just not gotten to do things my entire life, and just like, and so there's a lot of FOMO buildup, and so like going out with you guys was actually like a fulfillment for me of actually getting to experience some of that frivolity that I'd never firsthand experienced. And so, yeah, I actually hold those memories in high regard in my mind, of like, those were really good times. But now, as someone who just even like understanding that you have anxiety and understand that like what triggers your anxiety is a whole process. And now I know, like, oh, that's why I feel that way. And that's why the next day I feel that way.
I mean, I don't have a hard cutoff at 2 hours, but I do feel like if I'm feeling tired, I do immediately start worrying that I'm just being a really boring bastard who's not very funny around all the people that I like, and then at that point I'm just like, it's time to go.
Self-consciousness kicks in.
Just like,
Drop the mic. Like, all right, see y'all tomorrow.
But that took many years to realize.
Yeah, and pair that with the fact that I've now come to terms with, like, I don't really like to drink. I just don't really like to drink. There's some stuff like I like to have, like, one of the things I used to do pre-pandemic was me and Anna Holland would have little wine nights where I'd go over to her house and we'd drink wine and we'd just be catty about stuff. It was fantastic. And I liked that. But like, those are special circumstances. But if you don't, like, it sucks to be the person who's not drinking around a bunch of people who are like slowly drinking a little bit more and more. And I'm just like, oh, I hate everybody now. I'm sober and I hate everybody. You know.
I feel like I've had some good sessions recently where everyone is just very lightly drinking. It's just like a social sipping, but no one gets too drunk.
Yes, and that's much easier to, I think, attain if you're like in a private setting.
Yeah.
But if you're like going out to a bar, like there's just so many variables. I'm just like, no.
So what if you've been there 2 hours? You're eyeing things up. Gus walks in.
Speed it up. Let's go.
Yeah. like he showed up 2 hours late to something.
He just arrived 2 hours after it started.
I don't think Gus can do enough. I get to see Gus a lot now.
We see each other.
Yeah.
We spent several hours today already together.
Yeah, this is
You know what's really going to turn this party up? Somebody else from work.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like somebody that I like spent all day with.
And it's gone.
It's Gus.
A socially awkward person with nothing to talk about.
I will say
Dab.
Yeah, Dab. I will say that if you're gonna bring an example, if like someone I don't get to see very much that I do miss catching up with, like someone like you or even Brian were to show up, I would like be like, oh, I want to go talk with them at least a little bit, that kind of thing, because like there are people still that I'm like bummed that because of like how much we're all separated, and just as adults we separate our lives more and more.
I'm kind of the same way, except I never had a period in my life, like even in college, I always wanted to go home. Like when we were going to a party or a fucking concert, I always got bored, and I would rather be playing Super Nintendo right now. But like
I was very bad at self-realization and even just being able to self-analyze myself, and so I always thought that I was jealous that I wasn't going to those things, and so whenever there's a chance I'd go to those things, but I didn't realize, I'm like, why don't I enjoy myself very much by about this point, and why am I so fucking anxious and awkward the entire time? It's like, oh, you have fucking social anxiety that's triggered by people and like sensor overload. Like that's like what your problem is. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
I remember once going, I feel like New Year's is a great opportunity for just someone to have a house party or something. It's like, but sometimes, well, back when I lived in England, people were like, let's go out clubbing for New Year. I was always just like, I just don't want to do that. Even back then, I didn't want to do that. But one time I went. We got there about 8, like went out in Oxford clubbing and all that, and then I was with Dan, and he was like, "All right, I booked the cab home for 2." I was like, "It's like 6 hours." That's
a long time.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, can't leave too soon after New Year." I was like, "Oh, why are we here? Why are we here at 8?"
What'd you get there at 8 then? Yeah.
It felt like for the first time ever, I felt like I was watching the clock, like a shit job that you don't like.
Right.
I felt like I was just doing that, but everyone was having a really good time around me.
That's a long ass time.
It was way too long. It was an eternity. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not there right now.
Show up at 10, leave at 1. I don't know.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Not drinking does suck too if everybody else is.
Oh yeah,
everyone just seems like an idiot.
And then there's like
that's the point.
Yeah, and then there's instances where people like are doing like recreational drugs and that kind of thing, and then that adds into like you're dealing with your friend who's either high or on something. It's just like, and when you're sober and also anxious and socially awkward, it's like, this is hell. I'm in hell. Hello, everybody.
The absolute worst is dealing with someone who's obviously had too much to drink and they're super drunk and they're trying to buy more alcohol.
Yeah.
And you're like trying to convince them this is a bad idea and they need to stop. Like, I don't know how many fucking times I've had to go through this with numerous people.
Yeah.
The worst is I was once with someone who had way too much to drink, and I was like, all right, we're going to get you a hamburger. Found like a burger place, sat him down, give him a hamburger, like, eat this, sober up a bit, stop paying attention for a few minutes. He's like, where'd he go? He's gone. It's like,
he despawned.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, there's a grocery store across the street. Walk across the street to the grocery store. They're in the beer aisle.
Yeah.
There's like picking up a suitcase. Like, put that down. You can't. You're done. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to do.
What are you like when it's the flip the other way and you're the drunk one? Are you cooperative usually?
I think yes.
I would say this is contrary to what people saw on camera, but even Cheese Master Gus, which is the drunkest I've ever seen.
Oh, that's the drunkest I've ever been.
You were still pretty self-aware off camera.
Oh yeah.
You were unhinging in front of the camera. I think for the sake of like for the fun and entertainment and that kind of thing. And you were doing things that definitely sober Gus would never do.
Yeah.
But I was still impressed at you still had some of your facets. Couldn't drive or anything like that. I'm not saying like that level.
God no.
But like you weren't just that belligerent.
No. I think I'm not terrible other than that one time.
My ideal night, just dream night. If I'm gonna go out and socialize, just this is fantastic. Tabletop games at a friend's house. Oh, that's just heaven. That's heaven. It's a controlled environment, small group of people. Yeah. There's an activity.
Yeah.
So there's focus on something other than like having to just keep up conversation. And there's like some fun involved. Like I love it. That's fantastic. I will always be down for like tabletop game night. So good.
I must have told a story before about the drunk person with the hamburger because everyone in the chat knows who it is. I must not have censored myself at the previous time.
Oh yeah.
I saw something I'd never seen before the other day. Like, it was something I'd never considered. I was driving down a pretty busy street here in Austin. I was driving past a convenience store. And you know, at convenience stores, they have like the ice machine or the freezer out in the front with like the bags of ice, and you go and you buy like a bag of ice for $1 or whatever. I was driving down the street and I looked at this convenience store and I had to do a double take because the freezer was open and there was a dude sitting in it. It was like a homeless dude had opened it up, and only his, like, the bottom half of his legs from his knees down and his head were sticking out of it. But like his ass and his entire body and his arms
just, like, gone in the hatch.
freezer. Right.
Yeah.
He was like plopped in there to cool down.
I
was like,
guess, yeah.
I was like, one, I've never seen that. I was like, that's really weird. I had to do a double take. Two, it's not even that hot today. Like, it was actually like a really pleasant day. I was like, why didn't I see this like in July or August when it's like really brutally hot?
Maybe he had like
Curry.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe he had like a
God.
no thing happening in his nethers, and like that was soothing.
I don't know. I just,
You know?
I'd never seen that. I'd never even considered that.
Why do they keep ice outside? Seems like the worst place to keep
It
it.
does seem like a bad place to keep it. It's like no one knows if anyone's doing anything. And that makes me think about that episode of The Office where Kevin just sticks his feet in the ice machine. You have no idea what's going on with that ice. Like, remind me not to get ice from that storage anymore.
Somebody mentioned the death of the LAN party. Those were the funnest times. Like when that wasn't.
That was the
something
most
you
I'd
could
stay
do.
up late. Was
Yeah,
a LAN party.
totally, yeah.
LAN party would go all night long. But that's because we're playing like Counter-Strike and
Yeah,
God, can
you
you
only have to minimally communicate with each other.
yeah, but then we're playing video games and
It's
we're also
fun.
hopped up on Mountain Dew and
Totally.
Oreos and that kind of thing.
Can you imagine bringing that much shit anywhere now?
Oh, we
The
like-
amount of stuff that required.
But it was also bigger than as well, like talking about like a CRT monitor
Yeah.
and the desktop. and that kind of-
tower,
yeah,
the
the
big
We
ass-
yeah.
used to do also like LAN parties for the original Halo. Like you'd take your Xbox and
Yep.
a TV somewhere. At least that was easier. It wasn't as hard to wrangle all that stuff before there was like Xbox Live.
I remember
and
people
online
thinking
play.
that was really convenient. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just-
It's like, oh, just this thing I got to take easy.
I mean, that's honestly why I love Achievement Hunter so much. It's just LAN parties every day.
Yeah. It's
Pretty much.
definitely it's nice to have that coordinated because yeah, that was the best time to be able to game with friends was on a local LAN, that kind of thing, because we really weren't like doing multiplayer as much. That was the multiplayer you really got to do because you would like it's like for Counter-Strike, like that's how you got a bunch of like games with your friends, was doing it like that in a closed LAN. That's why college, that was the fun part of college for me,
Yeah,
was we were all in a LAN, and so that was like Team Fortress and Counter-Strike days.
Yeah, I remember playing Doom for the first time, like setting up a LAN for that and being like, this is fucking amazing.
What port were you on?
I think it wasn't a port. I think it was an IPX SPX game. I don't think it used TCP. I could be wrong. So I don't know that there was like a dedicated port for it.
How was your subnet?
It was modulated. But I think that was like early on. That might be one of the first like LAN party capable games. I don't remember. That was back in '94. It's a fucking long ass time ago.
Quake 2 was pretty tippy top.
I still don't think I've ever had a gaming experience as epic as Halo 1 Capture the Flag, but with like 4 Xboxes.
Yeah.
Just the screaming from the other, because we were in like separate rooms. Oh, it's just magic. What a magic time that was. It was great.
Those games would last fucking. If you play like Capture the Flag on Sidewinder, it'd
Yeah,
be like a
and if
fucking
you had no
3-hour-long
if you had
game.
no time limit, like every
Yeah.
score would be, it'd be like watching a football game, like English football.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that was a score. It's
Like,
great.
yeah, if anyone scored at all, it was amazing. Everyone would lose their shit. Good times. This episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by Movement. There's a movement taking the world by storm, a movement driven by beautiful watches, blue light glasses, sunglasses, and minimalist jewelry. I'm talking about Movement, MVMT Movement. You've heard us talk about their watches, but their blue light glasses are great. The Everscroll line looks great, fits perfect. Eric still hasn't become a gold chain guy yet, but you could, Eric, with Movement. I'm telling you, he's right over there. Movement watches have the look and feel of $400 to $500 quality watch you can get at a department store, but cost just a fraction of that since they're built online and their own process from start to finish. You get a stunning watch shipped to your door for free. If you don't love it, you can ship it right back for free, but you probably won't need that part, you know? Movement has also actually changed my life with their Everscroll blue light filtering glasses. We spend all day in front of screens, and these really help with eye strain, poor sleeping patterns, and looking smarter than you actually are. If you want to elevate your look with style that doesn't break the bank, join Movement. Get 15% off today with free shipping, free returns by going to mvmt.com/rooster. Again, that's mvmt.com/rooster. Speaking of video games, I saw something really strange on Reddit the other day. There was a video someone took, like, first-person perspective from inside a train, showing it going down the tracks and adjusting the field of view to different angles or to different values to show, like, how speed seemed relative to the field of view. Like, the wider it was, it seemed like the faster train was going, and then as it narrowed down, it seemed like the train was going slower. And in one of the comments, someone said, this is just like in the first Mass Effect where the run button doesn't do anything, it just changes your FOV, and you're actually moving at the same speed. And
Is that really what happened?
I was like, is that true? And I didn't believe it, so I was texting Gavin. I was like, I don't believe it. It's like, I've got Mass Effect 1 remastered on my Xbox. Like, I'm going to fire it up and see what happens. So I just recorded a quick video, and I shared it with Gavin, and it does make a difference in remastered. I was like, oh, I'm able to run like this. If I'm walking it was 19 seconds. If I run it, 16 seconds.
It's really not by much. It's like a really tiny increase in speed.
But I looked online on YouTube, and I found other people who made similar videos, but in the original Mass Effect. And in their videos, it looks like it's the same fucking speed. They did it side by side, running and walking, and it was the same. And so I was like, I'm like you just did, Brian. I was like, my mind was blown.
Yeah.
So was that an error? Like, did they just have the value change for the FOV and then just forget to do the speed?
I don't know.
What would be the reason for doing that?
I don't know.
That is a weird, like, question to answer. Like, it's funny that that's the case, but like, why is that the case? Because somebody actually had to program that with intent. You don't just accidentally do that.
Field of view does make a huge difference. Like the train video Gus is talking about, the zoomed in one,
Yeah.
looks so slow.
Like a crawl.
The wide one is like,
Well, that's like one of the games that you can really control a pretty wide FOV that I always think of is like Minecraft. You can go pretty wide with Minecraft, and there's like those videos where people do like speed parkour in Minecraft, but it's always super wide, so it looks like they're going pretty fast through.
Yeah.
But if you were in a much smaller FOV, it probably wouldn't be as epic. But that's just
it's like the opposite of when the camera's still. Like a tight lens tracking a subject looks really fast. But if you put the really wide lens on, they're just going to be moving really slowly
Yeah.
through the frame.
In chat, Bernie H67 says they changed the speed in the remaster.
Interesting.
So yeah, that was
A little
right.
fix there.
In the original Mass Effect, no change. But yeah, but the thing I was most impressed about was I did that quick test on my Xbox. Like, I didn't want to go down to my PC and fire it up and do the capture. It's like, the basic capture functions in a console are great. It's like I just used like the share button on the controller, just capture for 30 seconds, found like a little spot, like run here, capture, upload it to my Xbox storage, do walking, upload, and then I was like, got it on my laptop, cut it together in Premiere. Took like 2 minutes to do. I was like, this is fucking mind blowing. I can't imagine like being younger and playing on the console, be like, oh, I wish I could show people this. Like, no, like I exported
my video camera,
Yeah.
or, like capture card.
I captured a 4K HDR with no extra hardware, like all just built into the.
You used to have
into
to
the
buy
system.
special hard drives for that, didn't you, to capture?
Yeah.
on the opposite side of the spectrum. You ever try to get a photo off of a Nintendo Switch?
Oh god.
Oh, they kind of they have a thing where you can put it on your phone now.
Oh, do they?
Scan a QR code.
Yeah, but
So
even
it's a
then,
little-
but it's like what are you talking
it's
about?
classic Nintendo.
It
It's a
is.
5-step solution that didn't have to. Yeah.
If you want to just flat out upload it right away as is to a social media thing, they're like, yeah, you can do that from this
Yeah.
thing. But if you just want to take the photo off and like have it, it's like, nope.
Did you ever, Gus, like back in the day, have like if you were proud that you beat something, like take a photo of the screen?
Yeah. That's what you had to do in Nintendo Power when you submitted
Yes.
high scores, or if you beat a game
That's
for
what
the
I was
magazine,
thinking of.
you would have
Yep.
to take a photo, and they would give you even tips like, make sure the flash isn't on when you take the photo. Like, there were tips for taking a photo of your screen to submit.
I think that's genuinely how Michael recorded his first Rage Quit.
I think so. Yeah, you
camera
put-
on
yeah.
it.
Just a
Bounces
camera.
off
Crackdown
share or something.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's just it's just him filming his TV.
Yep.
Do you think we should do a no time limit capture the flag between AH and STF?
Oh, you guys would probably wipe the floor with us.
Pick teams, I guess.
It would depend on what the teams were. We'd have to like balance the teams a little bit, but like Blaine's decent at video games and very competitive. Like he'll go at it. Like we did the Minecraft stream where we all played together, and we actually competed pretty well in that.
Would we do Sidewinder or Blood Gulch?
Start with Blood Gulch, finish in Sidewinder.
All right.
It'd
Love
be
it.
like an all-day thing.
We should do it.
God.
I think people would watch that.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
they absolutely. would.
I'm
Yeah.
I am definitely the kind of person who's like, yes, I am in my late 30s and I've been playing video games since I was 5 years old. No, I'm not good at them yet. Like that's me.
And we've all missed the window.
Yeah. My reflexes are not improving.
Next month is the 20th anniversary of the Halo 1 release.
So it's Halo anniversary?
No, it's Halo's anniversary. I guess it is also the Halo anniversary.
Well, Halo anniversary was 10 years
Yeah.
after.
Yes.
The anniversary of the
again, I'll play
anniversary. That's funny. Talking about a video game that blew my mind graphics-wise. You talking about Halo reminded me thinking of Half-Life 2. The Half-Life 2 graphics with like how physics worked in that game and like things you can interact with and blow up. It's like that was mind-blowing. They even had a demonstration video I remember they put out where they were like showing you how the grav gun can interact with a mattress, and they were moving this mattress around. It was like had physics and even floated on water, and that was like, we have peaked. Congratulations, everybody. We have done it.
I remember when Metal Gear Solid 2 was being demoed before it first came out, they were like trying to highlight how powerful the PlayStation 2 was. And in the demos for that at E3, like there was like in the background, there'd be like a glass with a liquid and ice in it, and they'd like break the glass and be like, look, the ice cubes that are by themselves melt faster than the ice cubes that are together in this liquid. Like we map all this thermal dynamics in this. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I mean that's cool and all, but who the fuck cares about that? It's like it's a video game. Like you can spend so much time getting in the weeds on very small things that in the grand scheme of things don't matter or don't
Smart
make
marketing though.
Don't make a better game, but right, it was pretty smart.
It was a tech demo, I guess.
Yeah,
Kind of
it's been 20 years, and here I am. I still fucking remember
That's
that.
right. It worked.
Someone on, I think, maybe the gaming subreddit pointed out that like games 20 years ago would use fog to lessen the field of distance view so that the game could render stuff in
like
time.
Silent Hill
and now fog is what causes my game, in like a real game, causes my game to slow down in frame rate if there's too much smoke particles around.
Yeah. It's the games have come a long way. I remember the first game I remember playing a lot of, like really sitting down, like I'm gonna play. Like a Saturday, I was a little kid, like got nothing to do today. I'm just gonna play this game all day long. Was Defender on the Atari 2600, which is like
That was not the answer I was expecting.
a 320 by 240 game that's just like little blocks moving around. Like it's all imagination.
It was like the side scroller shooter, right?
Right.
Like, yeah.
You had to like shoot UFOs that were trying to kidnap people from the ground, and you had to like rescue the people.
Oh,
and
I
drop them
remember
back
that.
down.
If you play that now, how many minutes would pass until you turned it off?
I would play for about 2 seconds and be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad I don't have to play this anymore. That was probably in 83, maybe 82. And it's this wild, like this was absolute. Like you look at it today, it's like it's absolute shit. Like no one would even play that, like even like as a retro game. And now we're talking about even ice cubes that melt and stay together. That was 20 years ago. Now
Horse
we're talking,
testicles.
Yeah, now we're talking about 4K games that you can export from your controller and download instantly. I've been playing a lot of Deathloop, by the way. You talking about it the other week convinced me to try it out.
What do you think?
That game is great and infuriating at the same time. It took me, I don't know how many days it took me to figure out how to get through Fia's workshop and not have the reactor blow up.
Oh, I only blew the reactor once.
I blew the reactor like a fucking 12 times. It made me want to scream every time it happened.
I do that kind of thing too, because I realize my playing style is just brute forcing my way through everything, and it's like excruciating to watch.
Yeah,
like because it's just over and over. Yeah.
The way I finally did it was I figured out where all of the people who raised the alarm were, and I would like race towards them and try to kill them first, and then kill the other people.
Do you
working my way
know
out
how
from
to
there.
actually like diffuse it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, on my playthrough, it was red, green, blue, yellow.
Oh, okay.
I know because I just fucking did it yesterday.
I like how in that game, whenever I'm playing and I get invaded, I'm always like, oh, this person's going to be really, really good, and they're going to have all the... And then, like, I'm fighting them, it's this epic battle. When I invade other people's games, I'm just trying not to kill myself by falling off the roof. Like, I'm just garbage at doing that for some reason. I am not successful as an invader.
I got invaded the other day, and, like, the music kept playing, and I was, like, really scared, and I couldn't find the person forever.
Is it like Dark Souls when they come in and just try to kill you? And okay, yeah.
And it was like, and I don't know what they were doing, but it's like eventually, like, they were just standing somewhere invisible. And I was like,
Maybe it was like Animal Crossing. They just wanted to see your world.
maybe. And I finally killed him, but it was that thing where I was trying to go into the reactor. I was like, I gotta find them before I go in there, because if they attack me when I'm in there, then it's gonna really fuck everything up.
Were you in that Portals hard mode we did a little while ago?
I don't think so.
The Portals community thing. What was it called? Like Portals remastered,
Reimagined or something?
Reimagined,
No, I
something like
wasn't in that.
It was someone had made more levels for the first Portal game, but they had added a new mechanic where there was a time mechanic, and so one Portal gun would control where you go in time, either forward and backward, and so you had to do.
Hell yeah!
It was fantastic.
And the other one would take off your clothes.
Yes, that's how it works. But we did. I found it. I tested it, and I was like, "This would be great." So I gave it to Barb and Chris to do a stream in it, because there was a stream that I wasn't gonna be able to be at, and I was like, "You guys can do this." Barb, you fucking love Portals, one of your favorite games ever. Found out she hasn't played Portals 1. She's played Portals
She only played 2. Oh,
she only played 2.
okay.
At least I think that's what I recall correctly. But so I had them do it. So then when we want to do a hard mode, I was like, "Oh, I got a good idea. We'll do a speed run, and Blaine and I will play, but we will have coaches help us try to get through as many levels as possible." My coach was Chris. And the editor did a great job of really cutting down how much frustration happened in the last level. But I did really, really well for like the first like 4 levels, and then we got to one where the time mechanic really fucked with my brain. You had to really use it to figure out how to get to the spot, and I couldn't get it. And having Chris Damaris try to explain it to you all the while was just making it worse. My brain broke in
I feel
that.
like, why would you want to cut that out?
We had to like, you had to like actually make it make sense, and you cut out like just dumb stuff, and we also had to cut to like Barb and Blaine also doing it. Anyways, it was the most mind-boggling thing I've ever done, where Chris was trying to teach me how to get through a portal map.
Doesn't seem like a good use of Chris.
My favorite thing, I think, at this point still that we've ever done was when we did Stardew, and I got to annoy Chris in Stardew.
Oh.
That was delightful. That was delightful.
I like that you call it Portals.
Did I call it Portals?
Portals too.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bad at video games. Have you met me?
We have a video that's coming out soon that we watched the ending of earlier today.
We have a Minecraft video.
Yeah, a Minecraft video. And it's one of my favorite things that I think we've made in a long time.
You can say what it's about. We'd done a video where I tried to teach Blaine and Gus, the other 3-letter G word, how to use Tinker's Construct, just the basics, Tinker's Construct, and so like just how to build a smeltery and make casts and make a weapon. And then we did another one where I said, "Okay, Blaine and Gus, teach Barb and Chris how to use Tinker's Construct." So that was a fun mechanic, but that wasn't where the fun in the video came from.
like most things, it's like you have this goal and you're working at this, and then like out of left field something happens. You're like, "Oh shit! Now the video's about this instead." And it's like,
you know what? I'll compare it.
We
The
just
Let's
saw
Play.
Fine
I'll
Cut
compare it
today.
to Uncut Gems. That's the Let's Play is Uncut Gems, to many levels, and I look for it. I think we're calling it like Minecraft Blood and Lava.
Just a little bit of a hint.
There's a little bit of a hint of what
to
happened.
where it goes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because you can fall in it, right?
That's part of it. Yeah,
Then
we
you get the
learned
blood.
like that you can do stuff with blood, so that's part of it. Me and Blaine start just fucking around with blood stuff.
Yeah, and there's some genuine shock and terror. Like
great.
To the point where like I think subconsciously people were like moving their mouse around like in fear of what they were seeing.
It's pretty great. I'm excited to put it out there. I like our Minecraft stuff. I wish we could do. We need to coordinate. I need to coordinate with Sarah to do. Like, it's my job. Like, I coordinate this shit. Like, I'm the one who makes this stuff happen. I need to coordinate with Sarah to do some more like stuff with AH. We're actually going to be doing a thing with the animation boys in a couple weeks where they wanted to like build a bunch of games for us to play in their island, and we're going to go and do like a field day on Animation Island.
And I want to do an update to a hard mode that we did a couple of months ago, and I want to try to invite some Achievement Hunter people in GTA to do like an updated version of that.
What's up?
Where we did a race, but you had to drive safely, and anytime you got into a crash, you had to get out and change cars. And it's like there were all these rules. Like if you had a cop car, you got to take the cop car, or it's like if you
I hated it.
Like if you did this thing, you had to
Hated it.
get into 2 different cars, and then you could go
How far were you having to get?
like from the far north of the island to the airport. So I want to do an updated version with Achievement Hunter where we have to do laps around all of the island.
You guys at Achievement Hunter, it's Matt who doesn't. You guys always joke he doesn't test things before he has you guys do it, right?
Yeah, that's the joke. I assume he does. Otherwise, we wouldn't be all there trying to make the video.
Blaine is our version of that, but he actually doesn't test them, and I keep telling him to test them. And we did a GTA. We recorded something in GTA. We're devoting all of November for Squad Team Force content to D&D like content for Sticky Dragon. So everything is called Rollvember, and we're going to be doing that for that whole month. And so we recorded something, and I told Blaine, I was like, hey, make something happen in GTA. And so we did it, and there was a mechanic in it that he fucking thought that we could do. He's like, I'm positive you can do this in GTA. You can't fucking do it in GTA. And he did not test it at all.
But everyone was there like, in the game.
He came up with multiple options. Like if this doesn't work, we'll do this. Like all this. We went through the entire list and none of them worked. And eventually I'm like, all right, let's just do this other thing.
It was one of those things where
The flow chart just
it was one of those things where we were trying to do trying to accomplish the first task the way he wanted to do it. We found out you can't flat out do it. And so then we're like, okay, we'll just, in the edit, we'll just cut all of that out and we'll just be like, oh, we're doing this one instead. Because we actually used dice to determine what we were doing. We're like, oh, we're just going to roll dice and do this instead. But then when it happened again, it was just like, how many times do we reset this
Yeah, we've
Let's
had a
Play?
few of those to the point where it's like, well, we've been here an hour.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
So we'll just release a Let's Fail.
Yep, that's what it is.
And that's what the video is. We don't like to do it, but it does have to happen sometimes when nothing got made.
Because it's time put in, like a lot of people.
Yeah, it's time times, 7 people sometimes.
And that's our resource now at this point, is just people's time. Like that's especially when you're like living in games that you already own, there's no other resources to gather. It's like it's just time. So when like it's all wasted by everybody. But he is still determined that he thinks that this first thing that we wanted to do is possible. Him and I are going to record tomorrow in GTA and just spend an hour trying to accomplish this.
It's impossible.
I actually Googled it. It actually is. It actually is impossible. He's still determined. He thinks
so
that
it's impossible.
we're
what's
talking.
you know
thing?
it's
Can you just say
impossible
the thing?
now.
Getting
No,
okay.
I'll whisper it to Gavin.
Okay, it's the way he wants to do it. The game doesn't actually have a mechanic for it.
Have sex with a prostitute.
Have sex with a prostitute. No, that's possible in GTA.
That's impossible, right?
Can you
Think like he thought there was actually an in-game
path
mechanic.
up?
Like he thought there was an in-game mechanic to
That would
be
allow
able
you
to
to do
do this
that.
thing.
Oh, the hot coffee mod. No, they patched that out.
We got in a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like all right, we did a massive explosion, like who can make the biggest explosion in video games thing, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna get a Titan in GTA. I'm gonna get a car, cover it in C4, drive it into the Titan, and then cover the Titan in C4, and then do that. I didn't know they patched out that you can't get into the back of a Titan anymore, and so I bought the Titan, and
God.
you can't actually break open the hatch behind it anymore.
Yeah, you can.
Can you? I could not.
You have to open it in the back menu, in the vehicle menu.
Is it? Maybe that's what it
Cargo
was.
door.
I tried to figure it out at the time of whatever the patch what I was at, because maybe it was a big point where that wasn't a possibility. I was Googling furiously trying to figure it out, and I could not. No one was saying that, and I would imagine people would say that immediately.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while since I've done it. I don't know. I'm not the one to talk. I've been playing GTA 5 for 8 years. I still have no idea how to do most of the shit I get. Like we did a video that just came out today where we had to take a picture of something with a phone camera and show it to Trevor, and none of us knew how to like look at your photos. That's pretty simple,
Oh,
though, right?
yeah. Where do you go?
I think it's somewhere in the menu. It's not. I don't think it's in the phone, which is where we're all looking.
Yeah.
But it's like I should know how to do this by now.
I'll say this about GTA. It's one of the most unintuitive games ever as far as controls go.
And all the content just stacks on top of the shitty mess they put in at the beginning. So it's just like, where do you even go for anything? Like, you have to even physically go to places in the game to start some things. It's like, do I own the building that starts this? I have no idea. It's like, I need a flow chart for it.
The worst for me is when I go down to my garage and the car want's not there. I'm like, where is it? do I have to go to the impound lot? Where's the fucking impound lot again? And I'm
Yeah.
like, how do I go through this process? Like, if my car's not there and I can't insurance it, like, oh, god damn it.
How about whenever I load in, all my shit is back to where it was at the beginning?
Right.
Escapism. Why don't we just go back with that?
I love the fact that to load a private session in online, you have to load into story mode of GTA first, wait for that whole thing to load, and then you can create a private session for GTA Online. If you go into GTA Online, there is no option to jump to a private server.
Yeah, I still don't know how to
correct.
do it. Like, if John's not there, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't remember how to
Well,
do this.
yeah.
Guess we're playing with public people
Guess I'm
today.
playing
Here's the
something
infuriating
else.
thing, though, is that why would they fix all that? It's working for them. Like, they're still making money, I assume, off of this
Well,
thing.
yeah, it's the most successful entertainment product of all time, I think.
It's kind of like Apple giving you your keyboard back, and they don't really care if,
Oh, nice
if
circle
you're happy
back.
about that.
Doing us a favor.
Yeah. Because they don't need to, because they've got all the money.
I already
So-
bought the shitty laptop. I'm not buying the good one.
So who gets mugged in your crew?
I don't think we've really had a problem with that.
Who
No?
I was doing a ton to somebody. I do it a lot, I think, to Blaine, only because I'm the one who's played it the longest, and so I've knew about those kind of features to be able to do that kind of stuff. And I have like GTA Online, you have to like get to a certain level of experience to actually even access certain things.
Yeah.
Like Barbara, because she just doesn't play it, she still can't call Lester to get wanted.
I still can't call Lester.
Yeah. Which is a problem.
Yeah.
Which is a real problem because you look at a bird wrong in that game and the cops are like, get him!
I can't call Lester, but I spent real world money to get a bunch of in-game money.
He did.
So I've got like all the ridiculous things.
He has like a blimp and he has that giant like laser gun. He has that.
Yeah.
But he can't get his wanted level gone.
I can use all the guns to get a wanted level. And I'm like, all right, I'm just like, all right, I'll let him kill him. I'll just die. Then I'll start over.
Well, yeah, the cops are like, this dude has a laser. They're not just going to let you go.
I mean, you say it's just time that gets spent when you're playing the game, but sometimes there's been times where like a DLC vehicle will come out and it'll be like 8 million in-game bucks. So we all buy money with real money.
Yeah.
And by the time the video started, we've spent like $600
Yeah.
on all getting the same
Yeah.
vehicle. Just so we can make one video.
I've looked at like some of your videos of that stuff and I'm just like watched through. I'm like, how much did this cost for
Yeah.
everybody to have? Because you idiots are not playing enough to like in-game earn that money.
God, no.
I don't know how you would.
We did Criminal Masterminds challenge in the heist, so we all did earn a genuine 10 million, I think, from that. But all the other money has just been, well, we need to make the video now, so we have to buy the money.
Like one of the biggest big updates was the submarine.
Yeah.
And you guys
We all
had
bought one, I think.
Jesus Christ, how many of you had submarines?
I think we had at least 4 or 5.
And you didn't
because
just get you didn't just get the base. You didn't get the base one. You got little upgrades.
Well, we had to have the missiles with the cameras on, so we could make the video where we were...
Wasn't like the helipad also like extra or something?
I don't know, but it's sickening. It's weird. It's weird to look at a video game as if it's a movie and be like, this is a big budget scene, this one.
It is. It is.
Submarines in- You know that real money's been spent.
Because that's part of what you guys have to do. You guys have to have the submarine. You have to have the Batman car with the rocket.
Otherwise, we're relying on something that Matt didn't test. Just kidding, Matt. I love you, Matt.
Speaking of real money, Twitter rolled out that tip jar feature, so you can enable
Oh, it's actually out.
a tip jar on your profile, and people can like tip you money, and they have like all these different options that you can enable. And I got notified that the tip jar was available by Mr. Brian Garr over there, who tweeted about it.
And you retweeted it. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like,
It
oh,
didn't lead to anything, but
I gave you a buck.
You did,
I was
yeah.
like, I'll give Brian some Twitter money. I was like, just because I was like, I think it's such a dumb feature.
It is like tipping somebody for a fucking tweet, or and the other thing, they have like your preferred followers or people who have to like pay to subscribe to you on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like you give them something extra or whatever, but I don't know what that would possibly be. Twitter's the worst for like,
Yeah.
why would like any kind of monetization on it? It just feels like the dumbest thing.
I would love it if the tipping cultures from different countries also applied. Like, here, tipping's massive for
Yeah.
almost everything. There
Yeah.
are some countries where it's like a bit of an insult to get a tip. It's like, I get paid enough. You can have this tip back. It'd be funny if like those people's profiles. They were just like giving back their tips. Like, no, I don't want it.
Just returning it back.
Yeah, this is an insult to me in my tweet.
I get paid for my tweets.
This was a bad tweet. You should not have paid for this tweet. Which is every tweet. That's a spoiler. Every tweet's a bad tweet. It's every time you tweet, you have made a mistake.
They're all awful.
Right. It's never a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny watching them try to scramble to figure out what their business model is.
They've definitely gotten heavier with the ads. It feels like everyone and Instagram
promoted,
too.
yeah, promoted
the
tweets,
promoted
yeah.
stuff.
I use Tweetbot, and you don't see any of that. So I pay a different company for a Twitter app, so I don't have to see the ads on Twitter. I think I pay a yearly subscription for that, like $5 or something.
Until Twitter switches up the API or whatever.
And they already
It
have.
blocks them out.
It's
Yeah.
already kind of fucked.
Yeah.
But it's still better than using the app. I do have to use the actual Twitter app for some things, like polls don't work on Tweetbot.
Oh, okay.
But most of the other things do work, but polls are like the one thing. Man, who gives a fuck? I don't care about
Right.
polls.
Right.
Not a big deal. Not a deal breaker.
Somebody, I don't know if this was because of your retweet or if it was because of my initial tweet to give me a tip. Somebody did tip me $50, and I
big
was
spender.
yeah, it was so out. They were like a few $1 and then a fucking $50, and I felt bad. Like I was like, oh, you don't have to give me 50 fucking.
You're like, that's what Gav was saying.
Yeah, like
Take this back. This is an insult.
no, it's weird, but I took it. I mean, I didn't say that. I took it.
I thought one of the weird things I thought was you can tip in Bitcoin. Like one of the things you can enable is you can put like your Bitcoin wallet address in there for
50
people.
Bitcoin would be a good tip.
Totally.
Jesus Christ.
If you want to tip me 50 Bitcoin, I'll take 50
Jesus
Bitcoin.
Christ.
Absolutely.
Take a $3 million Twitter tip.
Buy a lot of GTA submarines with that.
I'll praise your Twitter account, Brian, a little bit in that you're actually someone on there who's still going on there to like make snide jokes and funny commentary and that kind of thing. I do feel like my entire feed is now just me wading through everyone telling me the projects they're doing.
Yeah.
And something they just released, which I get it. Like you're trying to like promote. We do the same thing. You know, you have to like let people know the stuff you're doing. But
Speaking of which, Family Shatters. There it is.
Wow.
Premiering October 20th. That's this Wednesday.
tee
If
up.
you're watching this on YouTube, you can go watch Family Shatters right now. Sorry, John. What were you saying
I
about
have to
promoting
pee.
our own
Can
stuff?
I go pee real quick? I'm gonna go pee real quick.
All right.
I have to pee. I'll be right back.
Go promote
I have
John's
comic friends though who, I like all they tweet is just to plug their shows, and it's like, it's like nobody's gonna follow you because of that.
Yeah.
Like, even like bands that I really like, or whoever, if it's just like we'll be in Seattle.
I feel guilty about it. Like, I feel like sometimes I promote too much different stuff.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but that's why I try to keep
Yeah.
like a balance on it. I try to like also tweet other bullshit nonsense and try to balance it out. Just because we have so many different things that we work on here that we're trying to promote. It's like, how do you balance all these different projects and then like not drive people away?
This was the funniest. I know it's so dumb to read a tweet, but I'm gonna do it.
Is it one of yours?
No, it's not. No, I would never. This was Domino's Australia, and it says, we've put it once. This is all it says. We've put it once in our meat lovers and twice in a fire breather, never in the brownies, but thrice in the lava cakes. What is it? And all the replies, and someone screenshotted 20 replies. Come.
Oh no!
That's all it is. Yep. That's what Twitter should be for.
Yeah.
Like just recapping the best of the internet.
Recapping the best of Twitter. Twitter is the best of Twitter.
I don't know if that was I don't know if that was a Twitter post or like a Facebook, somebody screenshot.
That's successful marketing, though.
Yeah.
Now I want Domino's.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I ate a Domino's pizza. It was probably when we were still down at the studio down south before a podcast or something.
Oh, yeah, we used to get food.
Yeah. Back in the pre-COVID days.
Yeah.
If you want to yell at somebody, he's right there.
Oh, you hiding behind the 8-ball there?
Yeah. There's food things. Food coming soon.
Yum.
I saw a TV commercial the other day. I'll pause for. So I saw a TV commercial the other day, you showed up at the perfect time, John, for the dumbest app ever. Like I was like, there are tons of dumb phone apps. So like, this one takes. I don't remember what it's called, which is probably good. I'm not going to say the fucking name.
TikTok.
But it was an app that let you buy lottery tickets from your phone. And then they would scan the lottery ticket so you can see an image of it on your phone. So I think it's a way you buy, air quotes, a lottery ticket on your phone, then someone physically goes and buys it, then scans it in and shows you, so you don't ever actually hold the ticket. Which makes me think, if you win, why don't they just fucking keep the ticket?
Yeah.
Also,
and hire lawyers, I guess, with the $24 million you just won to keep the money somehow.
Also, they sell lottery tickets everywhere, at least in Texas, everywhere. Like, I could probably walk to several convenience stores from where I live and buy a lottery ticket in like 5 minutes. Maybe if you live like out in the middle of nowhere.
Is there actually no way to just like full on digitally participate in the lottery?
Not without this app. I don't think so.
I have never
until now.
A picture of a real lottery.
Yeah, no, it's like that's when I laughed out loud when they got to that part of the commercial where they're showing in the app, like, you get to see an actual image of your real lottery ticket. Like, wow!
Look, here's a guy's thumb.
That's like on the level of like people buying NFTs. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That lottery ticket is your NFT.
Yeah.
It's so. I don't know, and you know that company's going to get sold for like $700 million or something. Like they're going to get some huge buyout.
Somebody was mad that other people were posting their NFT that they had paid. It was like, I don't know, a monkey and sunglasses or something. And somebody said, that's like screenshotting yourself in front of somebody else's Lambo. And then somebody responded, actually, it's like stealing their Lamborghini and getting away and never getting caught. Because,
yeah, considering how much money people can spend on that. Yeah.
But also, the victim of the theft still has their Lamborghini.
Mm-hmm. Right. You still have that,
You can't right-click on a Lamborghini and click on Save a Copy As. It doesn't work that way.
But an NFT you can.
Yeah, an NFT you can. You wouldn't steal a Lamborghini, would you?
Yes, if it was that easy, yes, absolutely.
It's so everything's just so dumb.
Yeah.
I hate it all.
What the hell happened?
Oh, we lost chat.
I feel like the screen just locked.
We got locked out.
Yeah, we got to log in to the computer there. What else? Oh, we don't have much time. I saw something the other day that just really made me start thinking. I feel like I'm a fairly confident person, or at least I try to portray myself as being like a really confident person. But there's a level of confidence I will never have, and that is the confidence of someone who takes their dog to the fucking grocery store. Do you all ever see this? Like, when did this become okay?
Everywhere.
With people, I'm a dog person.
Like non-helper dogs.
Right, like a Pomeranian in the fucking basket. I don't know the last time I went to HEB and didn't see a dog in the fucking grocery store. And service dogs, fine.
That's different.
If you need a service dog, right.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like a pet. I'm talking about like
your purse
could have been an emotional
Right.
support Pomeranian.
No.
Okay.
No, this dog.
Gus is saying no.
These dogs don't have vests. These dogs look like they want to bite me.
Gus is scared.
Are we just okay with this now?
The dog's not investigating a crime. It's not looking
dogs
for weed anywhere.
Everywhere. And these people with these dogs don't look like they give a fuck.
So is it a hygiene issue for you?
Yeah, that's a hygiene issue for the health department. That's why they're not supposed to be allowed in there.
Produce, peeing on the lettuce and shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll totally do that.
Unpackaged goods.
Yeah.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Right? We need
I feel
to
like
stop
it's
the
disgusting,
lunacy.
but it's no more disgusting than some old bloke just rummaging through the onions with his bare hands.
Sure.
you know,
Or
not
like-
packaged.
I
right.
guess
Some-
that's a good point.
Some person's toddler just rolling along and just
Yeah.
touching everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a big disgusting place. Wash your veg.
Wash your veg.
Yep.
That's it.
There's some people who don't do that. Like, I was at Costco a couple of weeks ago, and like this older man and woman were like they bought like fruit and vegetables. They were like putting it in their trunk, and like I saw the woman grab the strawberries from the man who's putting on the trunk. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat some of these," and she gets into the passenger seat of the car and just like opens up the container and starts eating them. Do you know how fucking dirty that is? I had bought strawberries that same day from that same Costco too. I took them home and washed them, and the water was like brown from all the dirt that
Wait,
comes off
you're
of those
supposed to
strawberries.
wash those? Like,
That's all.
I don't.
That's all the nutrients. You're just washing
Yeah,
away.
I just cut
Wash
them
your
right up.
fruit.
All-
It's so much dirt in there.
Cut
That's
'em
like
right up
that's
for
like
the kids.
fiber. That's
They-
fiber for
They're
you.
still here. Doesn't whip them
Disgusting.
too bad.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah. You need to wash.
All right, no problem.
Brian.
I seriously don't.
Really?
Look how well Brian's
someone's
turned out.
hand.
Look at Brian.
It's
Look at Brian. He's
a
turned
little
out so
water
well.
is not going to cure whatever.
It just gets the dirt off at least.
Yeah, but that's fine. Get a little dirt.
That's
in your
true. You're
teeth.
just giving it a rinse. It's really doing nothing for the germs. Like,
Right, exactly. Like that's not
Actually,
gonna...
I do have a special rinse I use.
oh, you got the fruit wash
for the
spray
produce.
thing with soap.
Make my own with vinegar and soap.
That's too much.
All right, thanks for watching this episode of the podcast, everyone. We'll see you guys next week.
One ending to the old man podcast.
Bye.
watching your vegetables.